Good evening, welcome back to In the Khud. This is 8th August 2022, 8:40 p.m. and today after a very long time was a real productivity day. Because I took a leave from the full-time job and it just appeared to me in the morning. There was this one thing that I was working on yesterday. Again, there was a revision on it, which is just very sad. But I had to share the open files with the team, so I asked Prathamesh to just help me out there. He said, "Ho jayega, koi scene nahi hai, enjoy." And that struck me like, yeah, this is enjoyment, because from childhood my definition of enjoyment has been something on these lines where I would spend the entire day working on dad's work like I did today. Yeah, if I just start off from there, I started at 11:51. For dad's work I did 11 episodes today, from show 2 episode 523 to 533, and these are like intense episodes, so it takes around about half an hour to do one episode. So that is a good, I would say, what, 5.5 or 6 hours of work there. Before that, woke up at 5:30, saw an amazing Vivekavani video on the concept of Sthita Pragya, which means one who is completely equanimous in himself. In the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks Lord Krishna, what is the characteristic of such a person? Lord Krishna replies, such a person is bereft of the unnecessary hankering and outward movement of the senses for pleasure. He is completely rested in the pure being that is beyond the mind, hence the movements of the mind stop affecting him. With sorrow he does not agonize, with joy he does not rejoice, he sees everything for the way it is. This state of mind and experience of life is the highest state a human being can reach. Now jumping into part 2 of Cubic Worlds. So I changed gears today. I stopped going linearly like I was, which is why I feel the course was getting stagnating and difficult to get through. So I switched from part 2 straight away to part 7, chapter 7, part 2. The part 2 is called Character Creation and Character Modeling. 8 head figure drawing method to get the proportions. In edit mode, make 7 loop cuts. That makes 8 sections. Number of cuts can be seen in the bottom part of the screen. To use this reference in object mode, object properties, view, display, wired. Additional reference points. In the last box, we can add one more loop cut, so that becomes the feet. Okay, in the neck box, we add 2. In the neck, we add 2. Okay, that is weird. So in the second box, so this is the first, imagine this to be the first box. If this is the second box here, we add 2 loop cuts, so 3 sections, and those can be the shoulders which are coming out. So it's a T-pose like this, right? In the upper body, 3 loop cuts for sections. Then you do this simple thing every time. We press V to separate faces, select all, press F to fill in the gaps. Because Cubic Worlds, everything has to be cubes, separate ones. Then we add mirror to the legs, and then hands, we duplicate the scale reference and extra. Okay, you take that scale reference, duplicate it and rotate it like that. So the way the human body is standing, that rotated 90 degrees. Yeah, is horizontally your arms like in the T position. I don't know, I never thought about it that way. All parts which move should have some degree of overlap so that we don't have open ends on bending the joints. That was what I did today. Small things I've learned. Chrome shortcut for new tab is Control plus T. As I said, the majority of day today was dad's work day. Control plus G2 now does a difference of n rows plus sum of n results, so that later on I brought it back because it was doing some problems. Here you see 215. Wasted a good 15 to 20 minutes trying to figure why the Excel functions weren't pasting data into Excel. Turns out there was no problem with the code. The code was working the way it should, but even manually when I'm pasting things inside Excel, it was not happening. So it turned out it was just an Excel problem. When I restarted the system, it got solved. Then 311 made a function called tcalc running Control plus G3. Function copies value from the top to the bottom tables. Now here there is a catch that if the table is not completely filled, it will not work. So G3 and Control G3 is something that I have to work on now. I know I'm saying things, it's not making any sense. Okay, so when you come in here, let's say I have these many rows here. The major thing that I did today was this thing here. G4 is now a macro that fills in the number of segments. The task this is performing is Alt plus H, F, I, S, then Shift Tab, F, Enter. If let's say I'm here at segment 3, what I have to do is I want to come in here and drag it till this point. Okay. Now if I come in here at segment 3 and make sure that music cue sheets is running, come in here and press G4, that does it for me. It does not matter how many rows there are. I will just come in here, the last one. Okay, the order has to be selected. Come in here and press G4, it will fill up those. This is huge. So what it is doing is, I've written here, if you want to know, Alt H F I S. So we do Alt, that gives us this menu, H, then F, then I, then S for series. Then we're doing Shift Tab, and then linear growth, date, autofill, we're pressing F, and then we're pressing Enter. So all these are being done by just one key, which is your G4. So this was, I would say, the most beautiful thing I've done today. Throughout the day, because I was working on dad's work and I was working inside Microsoft Excel, there were a lot of things I was discovering and learning and trying to make my workflow better. So yeah, the more I work on this, the more I work with Excel, the more the Excel functions and scripts are going to get refined and better. Getting to the most exciting and fun part, I was just thinking about this a while back, that the 3D challenge, the community challenge of the moving meditations, the reason it has come into my mind is because I need to execute it. Like, I don't know how to put it. It's almost like the universe is giving me this signal that you have to do this, and it's almost like now I am in the position to execute whatever is in my mind. This is something I used to crave for. Now I want to know 3D to the extent that I can just make whatever is in my mind, and I know Blender enough now that whatever is in my mind, I can at least start executing it. So now is the perfect time to put the pedal on the gas. Anyway, just to give the accelerator, get into Blender and execute what I want to. And I have this beautiful concept in my mind, which I discussed, I think, even in yesterday's vlog. That is going to be my representation of Sthita Prajna while I am in this corporate job, and there is hustle and bustle, but I am all calm and patient like Sthita Prajna is. So I downloaded PureRef. It's a beautiful software, as a lot of people have pointed out. So this is the PureRef board that I made. Firstly, I looked for some environment references because it's going to be work from home related. So I have these monitors here, and this is Unreal Engine. So monitors here, CPU here. This is how the desk is gonna be. Some few references, some for environment, like a sci-fi high-tech environment, and even this is good for like lighting. I like the blue and orange opposite lighting effect here. Then this is for treatment, right? There is this guy, Animation 22, who's doing certain things in the middle, and you cannot change the camera and the character. That's the rule of the competition. Person is gonna do his thing, which is gonna be my character. I have to build that, but he's gonna be doing his thing in the middle, and all these things will be moving around. Okay, all these props, so like messages and email or whatever, like Google Meet, and messages like updates and feedbacks and last minute briefs, problems that have to be solved, and all things like those will be moving around the subject, like kind of like this. This is a very good reference for that. It's just in motion continuously, and they're also interacting with him. So like when he's doing this, that is getting puffed up and all that. This is again a few references for props that we can have, like probably experiment with multiple hands. I don't know. These are just references, kind of brainstorming. Like we can have these kind of windows come up here while he's doing stuff. But the most interesting thing that I thought is, while all this is happening, in the background we'll have the statue of Adiyogi, because that is essentially what I'm trying to convey here. Like his mindset is like that of Shiva. Shiva is, especially this statue of Adiyogi, is portraying that form of Shiva which is completely absorbed in samadhi, in like deep meditation. So that is like the ideal. I mean, tell me if it doesn't make sense to do this challenge right now. Like, it is nuts if I don't do it, and I am going to do it, and I'm going to try my very best regardless of whether it gets selected. I don't even, because I've seen the last 2 years of renders that people do, crazy renders. I cannot even get close to that, but I am going to submit, and I am going to make, and I'm going to learn a lot through it. That's what my aim is here, just to like see if I can, how far can I get. I imported this image as a reference in Blender, and I did make something here. So this is the thing, right? I have a very stiff nature. I can't just like play around and get my hands dirty. I just blocked out the basic forms with cubes and mirror modifier and subsurf modifier, and frankly this is not bad. Like, I wouldn't consider this, like, I've at least gotten the proportions the way they should look. Of course, adding details is something that can always be done later, but it just gives me the confidence that now I know the tools enough, I know the software enough, I know navigating so well in it that I absolutely have no excuse to not start making things and like actually doing the art that I am made to do. From tomorrow onwards, of course, I'm going to continue that part of Cubic Worlds, because the later lectures are going to teach about rigging and making your own character and everything, and that is going to very beautifully tie up into this situation, because I need to make my own character and I think I will just stick to maybe a Cubic World character. If it doesn't work out with like Subsurf and making it realistic, then this Cubic World character is also good enough. But from tomorrow onwards, we have 2 weeks to get the environment the way it should, and I looked up a bunch of models on cgtrader.com, so the environments and everything and props, I wouldn't have to make most of them from scratch. I'll get a starting template from where I can, manipulate the objects and build up my own scene from there. So it sounds like a lot of fun. I'm really excited, looking forward to this challenge, and of course with In the Khud, I'm gonna keep you updated and like document the entire process, entire journey. We've exceeded 14 minutes today. Gonna be a pain to it. I did not even cover one important part today. That in the morning I was seeing jump cuts. The thing that I do is not really a jump cut. A jump cut is when you take the second clip and put it up like a little, like the end syllable of the first clip is matching with the first syllable of the second clip. That's what a jump cut is. So there's that rhythm and, you know, continuity when watching. I can do that, but I don't have the time right now, neither the patience, especially for in the khud videos. So I need an auto hotkey script that does that for me, and that is very possible. So until that happens, this is gonna be standard editing. We'll see whenever we get the time to make that script. That's when we start jump cuts in this videos as well. Anyways, thank you so much for being in the khud. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.